All right, Jeff, we're going to look at the side view first. Five-step approach is fine. We're not going to be changing that, and this will play the same shot over and over for us for right now. Couple things we're going to adjust. You're not way, way off, but you're definitely off enough to piss you off, and you're off enough to cause ball motion issues. Okay? Swing doesn't look too bad, so that's a good thing. We are going to adjust slightly in the push rate. I think you're kind of quick and abrupt with the push, if you look at the pace of the push. I think the timing of the push is decent, but I think because you're quick and forceful with the push, then the steps have to get really short and quick. Well, look at the middle steps here. Steps 3 and 4 barely pass the other foot.
Until it leaves me so far back.
Correct. Now, even if you had a normal step 2 and 3, I'd probably move you up in the approach a little bit. I think you're a little bit too far back for the 5-step approach. And when I say move you up a little bit, we're talking 5-6 inches, not feet. Okay? Finishing position isn't bad as far as body position. I do think you tend to short arm the follow through. Okay? And that's a result, again, of using muscle. If you're loose and relaxed, you'll have a nice long fluid follow through. So we're talking about a lot of results, not a lot of problems. Footwork wise, bowling is a sport that, although it involves a swing with the upper body, in my opinion, has way more to do with the lower body. Legs are stronger than arms. Okay? So bowling is about using your legs effectively and having the upper body kind of loose and relaxed and kind of along for the ride. If the ball gets in the swing too soon or too quickly, and there's a difference, the most effective way to catch up to timing is short, quick steps. Okay? The only bad thing about quick footwork is when you bowl badly, everybody says to slow your feet down. If you go to league and shoot 750 and you have quick feet, nobody says slow your feet down. They all say nice bowling. And slow your feet down is crappy advice, by the way, because we never want slow feet. A free swing is quick, the feet have to match. Okay. I'm going to compare you to one of the pros. I'm going to use Rick Steelsmith for this. And I'm going to make Rick left-handed so we don't have to reverse everything. And it's a lot better than seeing you as a right-hander. Stance, really kind of similar, no big deal. Okay. I would move you up just a hair. Now you have a little extra motion on your step 1, you bring the ball backward. And we can kind of clean that up. There's just no necessity for that. You bring it backward to then bring it back forward to end up right where you started before anyway. Wasted motion. And just one more thing you have to do the same. And the more things you have to do the same, the more opportunity there is for something to go wrong. Okay? He's not going to have any motion on his first step. Both have a nice short first step. I like it. No issue. Right? Now in his next step, he eases that ball out. The elbow will get to the front of the side. The ball will come down to a belt level at the end of the step. Notice the arm is not locked. Notice you're locking, and that takes force to lock with a, I assume, 15-pound ball. Okay? And now, in relationship to the body, his ball is belt level. I know you're not one of those kids that wears your belt there. Okay. So you're not getting the ball in the swing early. You're not pushing early. You're pushing quickly and forcefully. Right? So in my opinion, the ball is too low on step 2 for your height backswing. Okay? And your body figures that out. Now on the next step, he is going to be about butt high with the backswing at the end of step 3. Again, a nice fluid step. You are also close to butt high at the end of that step. Look at the size of your step compared to him. Now, how tall are you? Okay. He says he's 5'8". Okay. He has a way bigger step than you. If you're taller, you should have a bigger step. Unless you're catching up to timing. And that's not a conscious decision, by the way. Your body figures that out. On the next step, he'll be at the top of his backswing on step 4. On your next step, you're also at the top of the backswing at the end of step 4. Backswing height is really kind of similar. Another short step. Okay. So now you have a lot of distance to go to the foul line. In fact, I cannot get the foul line and your foot in the same picture. I can with him. And at the finish, we're going to see the foot stop, ball come through, good body position. With you, we're going to see the foot stop, ball come through. Not a bad body position. You have knee bend, back foot's down, not bad. Notice how your right arm had more motion than his. That's a sign you're pulling harder with your left. So then it makes the right come back. Now you don't have to be right on top of the foul line, but you have to loft the ball 3 feet to hit oil. Okay, so we need to get you closer than that. Okay. If we watch with Rick's footwork, and he'll be right-handed when I'm playing in real-time motion, watch the middle steps. He's actually maintaining and building momentum with his legs. Watch the core of his body. See how it starts to maintain and develop momentum through the middle of the approach. If we watch with yours, with those short steps, your core is almost going to slow down. Starts moving. Let's see that it slows down. Small steps is not generating momentum, but the small steps is your body's rate of catching up to what this push away is doing. So we're going to work a smoother, easier push away. I think you're being too forceful. Look at the pace of that push. Okay. Actually, this shot here will have a little bit better angle. Look at the pace of the push from this angle here. So it's kind of quick and forceful. Right there. I'll show you another bowler here. Look at the pace of this push away here. Look how smooth and easy the ball goes out. Again, a great example of using the legs, not upper body. Okay, look at the footwork. Okay. But he's not getting the ball in the swing early. I think you are. If we look at a different shot, same camera angles before, I think we're going to see you're doing the same every time, which is a good thing. And keep in mind, when you bring the ball close to you, your elbow goes behind your back a little bit. So you're going from elbow behind the back to locking. That's a really big motion. And that's a lot of motion on one step, and even at that, it's going from behind your back, locked out, and down. That means it's happening very quickly. Okay? I think a really good exercise for you at home with a mirror. Just like on the video, it's easy to see things way easier than to feel them. At home with a mirror, with a ball, 2 steps and stop. You have a mirror to your left. No motion on step 1. You can clean up that little backward motion. Okay? But then on step 2, just kind of ease it out and stop. Elbow to the front of the side of the ball, maybe belt level, not quite locked. If you're really forceful and you lock out, you won't be stopping, especially with the weight in your hand. Okay, so that's a great little drill to kind of teach your body what you want it to do on step 2. So our goal today is going to be get the elbow kind of where it is, but that ball up another ball, not quite locked. That will help you be a little bit less early into the swing. That should help with steps 3 and 4. Now, usually the feet react to the swing, and I think that's happening with you. But once it's a habit, once you have a really short 3-4, well, then you have to rush your swing because you don't have much time for a relaxed swing. Correct. Yeah. So we'll work on the push away first, and we'll see what happens with the footwork. If it doesn't correct itself enough, then we'll work on a little bit more calm and bigger 3. And usually when that happens, then step 4 follows. Okay. As far as pulling, I'm going to make you a guarantee here. If that ball falls from there to here and you do not pull, I guarantee you the ball will never ever stop there and stay there in the air. It is going to come down whether you pull or not with gravity. The trick is convincing your body of that. And everybody gets anxious once in a while and pulls. Did you watch the Masters on television?
I did not.
Okay. Belmonte, #1 bowler in the year, threw the most ugly shot I've seen, I think. He pulled the crap out of it. Okay? And he's the best bowler in the world. And he made a bad shot when he needed it. So, to expect that you're never going to get anxious and pull, not realistic. But we don't want that happening every shot. Okay? So you have to relax and let it come through, not make it come through. Okay? As far as a follow-through, here's a really good way to think about a follow-through. When the ball falls from the top of the swing and comes off the hand, all the swing momentum is still in the arm. If the arm is loose and relaxed, the momentum of the weight swinging it will carry it right out and up above the head, and it'll come right back down. Okay, so he has this nice kind of rounded arc that the ball makes on the downswing, and watch the follow through. It continues on the same out and rounded arc. So in real-time motion, see, he's not making a follow through. He's letting it go out and up. Okay. When we have more muscle tension in the swing and you're helping it or trying to make it hook, you can short arm it.
You have to shorten the product to be trying to actually hit the ball.
Yep, exactly right. So if we slow this down here, you have that same nice rounded arc, but then it doesn't go out and up as much. You kind of cut it off short. Okay. You can do that at home with a mirror without a ball. You have a mirror in front of you, arm up kind of like it's in the backswing. You take a slide and a step, just loose arm, out and up, above the head and back down. If you short arm it, you'll see it in the mirror. Okay? Actually requires muscle to change the path of that arc. Now, as far as distance from the foul line with your slide left, you only have your slide left. You're actually closer to the carpet than you are to the foul line. Okay? So you'd have to be about 8'8" to be in the right position for your slide being there, and you're a little bit short of that. Okay.
Because I am aware.
Yes. So we'll move you up a little bit, but really the culprit is I think you're back too far to start with, but then steps 3 and 4 are really tiny. Okay. And then it's hard to have better balance and leverage. I'll tell you what you do well though. Here. A lot of people that stretched out will still try to get to the foul line, and then they're out of balance because they get way stretched out. You don't do that. So that's actually a good thing. But you're too far from the foul line. I'd rather see that when people are stretched out than have them get to the foul line and be falling on their ass. Okay? So you're actually doing the right thing. Okay? But that's just too far to be effective. We don't want you to feel you have to loft just to hit the lane. Right? You don't have to be on top of it. If we could get you there, that'd be awesome. Now, when you're there, you're thinking like, holy crap, I'm going to foul.
I used to be there. That's what I used to be.
You'll be in no danger of fouling. Okay. But you have balance. That's a good thing. A lot of people that have little issues in their approach do not have good balance. You actually have decent balance at the foul line. So that's a huge positive. Okay. All right. Everything makes sense so far? Okay, good. Let's go to back view. Stance is fine, no issue. Okay, we're going to look at swing direction first. Not bad. You tend to push a little bit to the left. Not way left, but I'll slow this down a little bit. There's that backward motion with the elbow. You actually start to push in, but then see how the ball goes out? Yep. So there's that gap there. So a lot of the ball is going outside your shoulder. We want it to stay in nice and tight. Let's do a little comparison with this guy, and I'll make him left-handed too. So when his ball starts to come down in the swing, see how much tighter that is to the body? And when that ball goes left, it can make you lean over a little bit more also. Okay. I think the rest of the swing is decent. No big issues. Yep, nice and straight for the rest. Okay. Okay, balance-wise, not bad. Okay. Let's look at footwork. One thing I would have you do, I would have your left foot slightly back from your right. About 2-3 inches, maybe the toes by the right foot arch. That'll help open up your body to your target. Okay? Generally speaking, whatever target you want to hit around the arrows, you should be setting up with your right foot on the approach about 10 boards to the right of target, assuming it's just a normal shot. You're not going to play. If you're playing straight, maybe 8 or 9 boards. If you're really trying to swing it, maybe 12 boards. Okay? And I think you're fairly close to that. Let's see footwork. Really not too bad. You gradually drift a little bit to the right. And sometimes your slide goes a little bit right. See how you're kind of shimmying around your slide foot? That's you fighting for balance. Okay, so you didn't lose your balance. If you look at your upper body, it looks fine, but if you watch your foot closely, you had to fight for it. Yeah. Your body prefers not to fall down, so you're going to fight for balance even without trying. And that's a good thing.
If the last step were more in line, it probably wouldn't have ended.
A little bit. Let's see here. So the slide should come right back in front. Doesn't quite get there. Okay. Pretty close. And I'll tell you, once we work on the push weight, the timing, the forcefulness of the push, and fluid steps, that might correct itself. Okay? Sometimes your body is smart enough to know a kind of a diagonal or sideways step takes a hair longer than a straight step. So sometimes when people fight footwork things of being short and then having less time for their swing, it can make you wander around back and forth a little bit more, so your body has just another fraction of a second for your swing. When you think about walking fluidly, it tends to be a little bit straighter. Okay. Now let's go to a close-up view. We'll talk about hand motion and release. As the ball swings, and here we can see a good close-up here, we should see that much of the ball as it goes out and comes back. And I think you're going to see here how you kind of leak that out. You bring it backward, so it kind of comes in a little bit, but then it actually goes out. Okay? And then it's going away, there's that gap here. You can do that at home with a mirror to the front. Set up with a mirror in front, 2 steps and stop. You want that ball to stay just a hair inside that shoulder. So then as it swings down, it's nice and close. That may change as we work on the distance and the forcefulness of the push away. And we get rid of that backward motion. Okay. Hand position here is really nice, right on the back of the ball, so no issue with that. Okay, right in the center of the ball, top of the swing. Let's use one of the pros again here. And this is one thing these guys do so well, they stay on the back side of the ball really nicely. The reason is they're not helping their swings around. So right in the back of the ball, no change in the up. As it comes down, you're going to see no change on the down. Okay. As you come down, there might be a little early turn. Yep, right there. I mean, we're talking a few tenths of a second, and that's not a crazy amount of early turn, by the way. I've seen people's palm facing the back camera before. That's early turn. Okay. At this point of the release, I've seen people's palm facing the camera. Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't be too worried if I were you. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. So that has a backward roll on it. Now, the only disadvantage of early turn is the revs you get are less effective, less powerful in the lane.
That's what's causing some of the rest to be a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that you're not getting a rev rate, they're less powerful. So you have less recovery if you miss out, and when you hit the pocket, you leave lots more corner pins, which in theory makes you a great spare shooter as you get more practice.
Overrated.
Now his fingers will go from the center through to the left side as the thumb comes out. Right there, the thumb is out. So you're there with the thumb still in. So then when your thumb does come out, the fingers rotate less because they were already there. Okay? Muscle promotes early turn. Okay, so what I would have you think of, one, when we work on the push away, if that push away is forceful, so is the rest of your swing. We smooth out the push away, the rest of the swing can likely be smoother. Okay? We work on some better footwork on 3-4, you have more time for a relaxed swing instead of having to rush it. That might help with the hand position. Usually the hand position is the last thing to work on because everything else is a factor. And if you're not getting there the right way, it's hard to have what you want at the release point. Okay. If the other things are better and you still feel like you're turning early, I would have you feel like your palm stays at your target as you release. You're still going to rotate because of muscle memory, but if you think of palm at the target, you'll delay that rotation by a few tenths of a second. And that's kind of what we want. Okay. Here you can kind of see how that short arm, see the arm kind of folds in half a little bit, where he's going to have that longer, looser extension. Okay. Again, a result of muscling, not a problem. Also, you get up on your toe. See the heel came up. Okay. Hard to feel, not hard to see. And that's partly because, I mean, you're trying to get to the lane, and it's hard to see from the back view, but you're 3 to 4 feet from the foul line.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you're having to kind of launch it to get to the lane, and that can cause that also. Okay, if you're pulling, that can cause that also. Okay, I don't think that's an issue. I think that'll clean itself up. Okay, so really not too bad. Again, you're not falling out of shots, so that's a huge, huge bonus. A lot of people with little issues fall out of a lot of shots. You have little issues, but you're not falling out of shots. So you're way ahead of the game in that aspect. But we need to clean things up. I have 50, 60 touring pros, men, women, and seniors on my system here. I don't have anyone with that short of 3 and 4. So you're either onto something or you're not. Okay? So I'm going to guess you're not.
I'm going to say that.
Okay.
I'm
But again, the whole reason those steps are so small is because of what's happening with the push away. Your feet react to your swing. Okay, so we're going to work on that in both ways. Everything makes sense?
Sure.
You're not a train wreck. Okay,
Good.
maybe a minor train accident, but not a train wreck.
You don't need a car.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that bad, really. But it's definitely affecting what you're seeing on the lane. Now, a lot of people come to nationals. How many nationals have you bowled?
This is my fourth.
Okay, so that's not that many. Did you bowl the last few?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are all sport shots, especially team event. They're really easy shots. And I hate to say that if you haven't bowled well in team event, but they're really easy shots. You should not be coming to nationals thinking, "Oh my God, it's gonna be a hard shot," because then you have a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're gonna have no room for error, and you're gonna try to be careful to not screw up, and that's what makes you really screw up.
Kills you.
Okay. When you're more careful, you're more muscled, and I would say, well, I don't have room to miss, so I have to be careful. When you're more careful, you're more muscled. That makes you miss more, and the ball doesn't come off your hand as well. Okay. There's lots of self-imposed pressure in team event because you don't want to let your team down. They ask you to be on their team because they like you, not because they expect 800 out of you. Okay. And like I said,
We'll go with that.
it's all self-imposed pressure.
Sure.
They're not putting pressure on you. Of course, they want you to bowl well, but they're not putting pressure on you. Okay. So you have to just try to relax and have fun and bowl well. Way easier said than done. And team event is also hard because nobody's ready when the bell rings. Okay, you're not loose, you're not lined up, and then your score is big as day. If you have 3 opens in the first 5 frames, it's pretty hard to relax. And most people don't get comfortable to the middle to the end of the first game, and then it can be ugly, and then it's hard to relax. So team event's not the easiest thing. Happens to everybody. All right. So we're going to move you up. We're going to work on, we'll get rid of that little backward motion because I don't think that's necessary. And we're going to work on a smoother, easier push. Okay? We want that ball with your height backswing, maybe belt level, not below the belt on it too. And then we'll see what happens with footwork. If we need to work on it, then we'll work on that. Let's stop the disc here.